I was just going to say, I think his 3 minutes is up.
Be kind now.
My name's Robert Kecseg, and I've lived in Irving for only 14 years. And I recently had the opportunity to meet with some of the city staff. It was arranged by Gerald Ferris, because I expressed a concern about the city's membership in an organization called ICLEI, I-C-L-E-I. So my opening point is just to ask the council a question: does anyone really know what ICLEI stands for? Okay, I'll take that as a no, record that as a no on the camera. ICLEI, the city joined membership in it. It stands for International Council of Local Environmental Initiatives. When I met with the staff, we discussed it, talked about it, and I made the point of the concern that I had that it was really about land control and controlling people's personal property. One of the staff members asked me, what was really your concern? And I said, well, do you know where ICLEI came from? And she said, sure. It came from something called Agenda 21. Agenda 21 stands for the Agenda for the 21st Century. I said, where did Agenda 21 come from? And she also knew the answer to that. It came from the United Nations. So what this city has joined, it's joined into an organization that is a political organization founded by the United Nations with a specific agenda. There's some, I think, 700 cities across the United States that have joined into it. And when you read a little bit about it and you learn about what they're all about, it goes well beyond the wonderful things of green this and green that. They get into things like social justice, access to justice. I pay my taxes like everybody else with the idea that I'm being represented by the representatives that are here today. And I see that as this is the government closest to the people, obviously in a municipality. Why on earth would anyone in this room believe that there's an outside influence as far away and as widespread with all the diversity of opinion, of political opinion, like something like the United Nations getting involved into our city? My point is, as representatives, if you're representing the people, you cannot represent at the same time an outside organization such as that. If you believe that what I've said so far is just kind of an innocuous, meaningless little thing that I should be somehow frightened of the United Nations, I just want to read to you, this will take me very little time, so be patient, very little time, exactly what they wrote. So if you don't, what I'm saying is if you don't research this and understand what it is, you don't know what they wrote. Here it is. Land cannot be treated as an ordinary asset, controlled by individuals and subject to the pressures and inefficiencies of the market. Private land ownership is also a principal instrument of accumulation and concentration of wealth, and therefore contributes to social injustice. If unchecked, it may become more an obstacle in the planning and implementation of development schemes. The provision of decent dwellings and healthy conditions for the people can only be achieved if land is used in the interest of society as a whole. Public control of land use is therefore indispensable. If you cannot read into that and understand that these people have a much different view than I believe most people who live in this city. Most people think that they own their land, it's their property to do with it what they want within the confines of our laws, of our restrictions, of our land use. These people are getting involved in helping you plan. I asked Gerald, I said, for the mere $2,000 membership, they provide you with this software. So now their software is running our people.
So I just couple
Yeah.
of quick questions. Do you have a question that you want to ask us, or are you asking
The
this
question
council to find out more information so that we can give you a strong answer back about why we're engaged in this program and whether or not we should continue being engaged in the program?
Well, obviously that is what I'm implying, that
Okay.
we should decide whether we need to continue to be engaged, because I'm concerned about my property, and I think everyone who owns property should be concerned as well. I asked my question in the beginning if anybody knew what the acronym stood for, and that is startling enough to not understand what that is, let alone a little bit deeper into going through their website and seeing what they're doing.
We're going to go ahead and ask Tommy if you wouldn't mind just giving us a little bit of a summary on this, perhaps in our file, maybe later this week or next week, so we can find out more about the program, maybe the history of how we got involved.